was 17, middle of July, the kind of heat that doesn't go away. Even at night, my friend Max and I were staying at a small lake house for 2 weeks, fishing, swimming, windows open all night. It felt perfect, too perfect. On the 10th day, Max found the diary under the bed. Old. Leather cover. No name. Of course, he opened it, read a few pages, then handed it to me with a look I didn't understand at the time. Someone had been writing in it. 3 summers ago, same lake, same house. At first it was normal. Fishing stories. Storms rolling in. Neighbors across the fence. Nothing strange, just boring. Then, it changed. Around the 3rd week the entries got shorter, sharper, like the writer was rushing. Saw him again near the big tree. He doesn't answer when you call, just stands there, looking at the water. I slowed down, kept reading. Max says I'm imagining it, but Max doesn't wake up at 3 a.m. and hear someone walking along the shore. I stopped. Read that line again, Max. The same name. 3 years earlier, I looked up at my friend. He was outside, pulling in a line. Whistling like nothing was wrong. I didn't say anything. I kept reading. The next entry, just 2 words. He's closer. After that, blank pages, several in a row, like the writer meant to continue, and couldn't. Then I reached the last page, and something about it made my stomach drop. The date did match the exact day. Found the diary, July 10th, same day, different year. On that page there was only 1 sentence, written harder, messier, like it had been rushed. They don't know I'm here yet. I closed the diary. Didn't say anything. The next morning I told Max we had to leave. Made up a story. Said my mom called. He got mad. Wanted to stay longer. I never told him why. Maybe I was afraid he'd stay. That night before we left, I didn't sleep. I lay there listening. The lake, the wind, the insects. Everything felt normal until around 2 a.m. I heard it, the door. Someone was trying to open it. Slowly, carefully, the handle turned, just enough to hit the lock, and stopped. No knocking. No footsteps. Nothing after that. Just silence. In the morning we packed the car. I checked under the bed. The diary was gone. We didn't take it. Max said he didn't either. I never went back to that lake, but that's not what stayed with me. Not the diary, not the door. 3 weeks later I found something in my backpack. A small piece of paper. Folded. It wasn't there when I packed. I know that. I remember everything in that bag. I unfolded it. 1 word. That's all it said. 1 word that changed everything. It wasn't a name. It was a date. I was 9. It was the first night I had ever been home alone. Late August. The kind of night where the air doesn't move. My window was open. The fan barely worked. Everything felt normal until I heard it. Breathing, slow, controlled, coming from my closet. I froze at first. I thought it was me, so I held my breath. The sound didn't stop. It kept going. Steady, careful, like someone trying not to be heard. I stared at the closet. Closed. Still, but at the bottom where the door didn't quite meet the floor, he saw something. A shadow, darker than everything around it, and it moved, just slightly. That's when I knew I wasn't alone. I didn't scream. Couldn't. I stood up slowly, opened my door, walked into the hallway, and closed my bedroom. behind me. I sat in the bathroom for hours, listening, waiting for something to move on the other side. Nothing did. But the silence out there didn't feel empty. It felt occupied. The next morning, I said nothing. I told myself it wasn't real. A shadow the fan. My imagination. A week later, my dad opened my closet. And stopped. He didn't say anything at first. Just stared. Then he called my mom. Quiet. Low. The way adults talk when they don't want you to hear. I went anyway. Inside the closet, pushed between my old toys, was a shoe. A man's shoe. Not my dad's. Just one. The laces tied neatly. Like someone had taken the time to fix them. My dad checked every door, every window. Everything was locked. No signs of entry. The shoe had no reason to be there. It just was. For years, I tried not to think about it. But recently something about it started to bother me. A detail I somehow missed as a kid. The shoe wasn't facing outward. It was turned toward the back wall, like whoever wore it had been standing there, not moving, not leaving. Just waiting. In the dark. That August night, waiting for me to fall asleep. And if you think the shoe was the worst part, you don't know what I woke up holding in my hand the next morning. This happened 2 summers ago. I had just graduated. Cheap apartment, ground floor, bad idea. The windows faced a quiet courtyard, garages, old trees, almost no light at night. In the summer, I kept the window open. I didn't have a choice. The air didn't move. Even at night it just sat there, heavy. That Friday, I got home late, around 11, unlocked the door. Everything felt normal. Too normal. Too normal. I kicked off my sandals, put the kettle on, went to the bathroom, splashed cold water on my face. When I came back, I stopped. The curtain had moved, just slightly, pulled to the side. I touched it. I was sure of that. I stepped closer, slowly, reached out to fix it, and saw him standing outside the window. Too close, about a meter away, not moving, not shifting, just there. I couldn't see his face, too dark. The tree blocked the light, but the shape was clear. Arms at his sides. Still for a second I thought, I imagined it. Then he knocked, soft too, fingers on the glass, not aggressive, almost polite. And then he spoke, calm, like nothing was wrong. Emma, open the window. I know you're home. My name. He knew my name. That's when the fear hit. Not when I saw him, not when he knocked. When he said my name, I'd stepped back. My hand was already reaching for my phone. I called the police. They said they were coming. I stayed where I was, didn't move, didn't blink. When I looked back, he was gone, just gone, too fast, like he had been waiting for something. The police arrived 20 minutes later. The courtyard was empty. Of course it was. The officer looked around, barely, like he already knew wouldn't find anything. He wrote something down, called it probably nothing. A mistake, a drunk, wrong place. I knew he didn't believe me, but there's something I didn't tell them. While I was waiting, I looked at the WINDOWSILL from inside. In the light, and saw it, a small piece of paper, folded, sitting just outside, like it had been left for me. I didn't touch it that night. I couldn't open the window, not after what just happened. The next morning I did. Sunlight everywhere. Kitchen felt safe again, or at least I tried to believe that. I brought the paper inside, sat down, coffee in my hand, like that would help. I unfolded it and froze. It was my schedule, handwritten, every detail. When I left, when I came back, when I turned off the lights. 14 days, exact times, precise, careful. At first I Thought someone had been watching me, writing everything down. But then, I saw it, the handwriting. Something was wrong, or, to write. I grabbed my notebooks, compared them, slowly, carefully, line by line, letter by letter. The same tilt, the same pressure, the same way. I wrote certain letters. It was mine. It was my handwriting. That's when it stopped feeling real. Not because of him. Because of that. I moved out a month later. Didn't tell anyone. Why? But there's one question I still can't answer. Not who wrote it, but when. Because if that was my handwriting, then when did I write it? And why don't I remember? There's one explanation if never said out loud. Not to my friends. Not even in therapy. Because if it's true, then the scariest part of that night wasn't the man outside my window.